Pema in Tibet, the childhood memories of Geisha Pema Dorji, as told to Denise Fossey, with preface by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Over the snowy mountains, high in the land of Tibet, spring has arrived. Under the bright moon, Pempa the shepherd scoops up an armful of baby goats and sheep. It's too cold out here, and I can feel a storm coming, Pempa called to his wife Dolma. I'll bring these little ones into the tent. I'll help you warm them, said Pema, his youngest son. Pema loved all the newborn animals. A pure white kid snuggled beside Pema in his cozy sleeping bag. It was the most beautiful baby goat Pema had ever seen, with tiny ears and golden eyes. He named her Namchi. By morning the last of the clouds had sped away. Golden light glowed in the air and sparkled on the frosty ground. Pema carried Namchi and the other kids and lambs back to their mothers in the sheepyard. Pempa brought hay for the tired animals and then did a surprising thing. He began to sing. He sang about the birds in the sky and the deer in the mountains and how they cared for their young. And he sang, "Your mothers and your fathers, so kind and so brave, have fed and protected you through all the hard days. So follow your parents, the birds and the deer, and you too will be a great mother." On these cold days, Pema, his brother Tsering, and sister Sonam practiced reading and writing. They felt a bit nervous about that and worked very hard because the teacher who visited to give lessons was very strict. When the children had finished their schoolwork, they were hungry. Their mother Dolma prepared butter tea in the family dongmo. Then she poured the steaming salty liquid into little wooden bowls for her children. "You can take a spoonful of sampa from the dish," she said. Pema sipped the hot tea, then saw the little white kid waiting for him. Carefully, Pema sprinkled the roasted barley flour into the tea. Mixing quickly with his fingers, he made small balls of dough. "We've got 6, said Pema to Namchi. "That's 3 for you and 3 for me." Summer was a wonderful time for Pema and the other nomad children. They played all day amongst the flowers and the sparkling streams. Wild rabbits slept on the lush grass, and if Pema was very quiet, he could stroke their silky fur before they woke up in surprise. On very hot days, the children went to the river. They moved rocks and stones to build a swimming pool and bathed in the icy cold snow melt water. There were so many exciting things to see. Thousands of birds came to Porong Valley to build nests and bring up their young. Each type of bird had a different sort of egg, white, blue, or brown, some smaller than a marble and some as big as a tennis ball. A flock of beautiful white swans came to live beside the lake each year. The monks from Porong Monastery showed Pema how to guide the herds of wild donkey who came to drink at the lake, so that no swan eggs got trampled. Many years before this, a Lama had told the shepherd's wife Dolma that soon she would be a mother. "The boy will grow up to be a Buddhist monk, and you should always dress him in yellow and red." Dolma was glad that her child would be a monk and help people to find happiness. In their games, the other children asked Pema to pretend to be a monk, as he did look like a little monk dressed in his red and yellow clothes. Pema prayed, "May all beings have happiness and the cause of happiness," and his friends listened. They knew that to be truly happy, everyone had to learn to be kind to all beings. So they tried to be kind, not to get cross with each other, and remembered to be careful with the wild creatures and beautiful plants, so that Tibet would always be a wonderful place. By late summer, all the young animals were growing big and strong, and did not need their mother's milk anymore. The nomads milked the goats, sheep, and yaks, and made delicious butter, yogurt, and cheese. This was stored underneath the tent, in a hole dug to make a cool cellar. When the cellar was full, Dolma would load parcels of butter, cheese, and wool onto Dorji, the strong little mountain horse. Dolma walked with Dorji to the nearest farming village, where farmers and nomads gathered together to chat and do some shopping. No one had any money, but everyone had something to exchange. Dolma swapped some of the family produce for other supplies that they needed, like barley, wheat, rice, and tea. Every few weeks, the nomad families packed up their pots and pans and shrines and tents and loaded everything carefully onto the backs of their yaks. They needed to move to another hillside where there was plenty of grass for the animals to eat. Pema loved the nomad life. It was fun to set off and find a new place to camp. Pema rode on the back of a huge yak, strapped to the sleeping bags. He yelled with excitement as the yak plunged fearlessly into the icy waves, and laughed as the water splashed over his head. In autumn, when the grass had grown tall and golden, it was cut to make hay for the animals. Pema was too young to use the long, sharp grass knife, but he did help with the singing. "Here's a young man," swish went the long knife, "with a strong arm," swish again, "and a grass knife," swish went the strong arms, "with a sharp blade," swish again. "Soon all the grass, swish, 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 will be laid down." While he sang, Pema made the grass into bundles. There was such a lot to do. If someone made 100 bundles, they gave a big shout. 100! If you made 1,000, you got a prize. The hay was stored in deep, dark caves on the mountainside not far from the village. Children, adults, and yaks walked to and fro, carrying the bundles, and the air was filled with laughter and singing. When all the hay was safely stored, Pema and Namchi sometimes wandered into the hills. While Namchi nibbled the sweet grass, Pema made piles of little stones, using them like a mala to count the Buddhist prayer, Om Mani Padme Hum. As he chanted, he wished all his friends and the animals could have long and happy lives. Pema knew that sad things did happen in this life. Sometimes people or animals became ill, and sometimes they died. Soon the cold winter snows arrived, but it was snug inside the tents. Grown-ups were busy spinning and weaving, for soon the tailors would arrive to sew trousers and tubas out of the homemade cloth. Grandma made all the family new shoes, and Dolma made huge pots of thukpa noodle soup for everyone to share. The children loved to play in the snow. Sometimes they made fierce snow lions with dark stone eyes and sharp icy teeth. A favorite game was snowballs. If they could throw one right into a tent, the grown-ups would give them a treat. Sometimes several nomad families would sit together in a circle around a huge bonfire to sing songs and recite poems. The poems were very long, and the grown-ups made the evening into a game to see who had the best memory. Pema liked the poems and remembered them well, so he had a lot of fun competing with the adults. Although they had a lot of fun, winter was a hard time. Blizzards blew the snow in freezing drifts that could bury and crush the little tents. Even at night, Pempa and Dolma took turns to brush the heavy snow off the roof. Many visitors came to see the village, even in the winter. The children were always pleased to see a funny old man called Aku Drunkpa. He knew many stories, and if he was really happy, he would tell very exciting ones. Pema and his friends asked their mums and dads for treats to give the old storyteller, cushions to sit on, butter tea and chang to drink, and tasty things to eat. Soon everyone was listening to the old stories of Tibet. One winter when Pema was 8 years old, nomads from the east of Tibet arrived at Porong village. They told terrible stories of what was happening in their villages. "Soldiers are coming from China. They're destroying our monasteries and killing the monks. When some of our friends tried to stop the soldiers, they were killed too." "Our leader, the Dalai Lama, is in danger here," whispered Pempa. "People in town are saying he should go to Nepal." "If the Dalai Lama leaves Tibet, then our family should go with him," said Dalma, though she knew it would be a long, hard journey. That night, Dalma and Pempa explained that the family were going to leave their village and climb over the great snow mountains to reach Nepal. "We can't take the animals with us," Pempa said sadly. "But they'll be fine here in the village," he said, trying to sound cheerful. "We won't stay away for long. Soon the soldiers will leave Tibet, and then we can all come back to Porong." Pema sat quietly. He was thinking of his pet goat. "Please can Namchi come with us?" he cried. "No," said Pema gently. "She will get ill in Nepal. It's too hot for her there." With tears running down his cheeks, Pema ran out of the tent to find Namchi. He stroked her tiny ears and her silky white coat, and told her he loved her, and told her that he loved to see the herds of gentle antelope leaping over the rocks and streams, and the tiny birds that built their neat round nests in the sweet berry bushes. And he told her that he loved to hear the swans as they arrived in spring, their powerful wing beats making a big swishing sound that made him rush from the tent to see them. And he told her that he had to go away, and he told her that he loved her. Namchi listened and looked at Pema with her golden eyes, and Pema knelt down on one knee and touched his forehead to Namchi's forehead. "Don't worry," said Pema. "When the soldiers have gone away and there is peace in Tibet, I will come back and we will be together again."